Welcome back to Win the Day. My name's Jacob Wirka, and thanks for joining me as we explore the book of Zephaniah. I remember once being at an art museum in Kansas City. I was up close to this wall and looking at it, being amazed with all these small pictures. Now, honestly, it took me a minute, but eventually I started to back up and I realized that each small picture on the wall was part of a much bigger work of art. And I remember just kind of standing there and being in awe of how beautiful it was and how each small part was essential to that big picture. I couldn't believe that I hadn't seen this earlier. Now, a lot of times, I feel like this is how we operate in our world, where we're so focused on the here and now and what's happening specifically to me that I forget about the big picture. And as we look at the Bible, specifically when we look at books like Zephaniah, we're reminded that we're all a part of a much bigger picture of what God is doing throughout time and space. Now, a key theme of this book of Zephaniah is the day of the Lord. Zephaniah talks about a day when God's judgment and justice will cover the land like a consuming fire. Now, that's scary stuff, and I don't really like to read about it, but it has a purpose. We can learn a lot from this short prophetic book. We're reminded that God is a God of justice, and we're reminded that the outcome of everything that's happened all throughout history is all pointing towards a beautiful ending for those who trust in the Lord. Now, this book was written for the southern kingdom of Judah by the prophet Zephaniah himself. He's writing to the nation of Judah and all other nations. This is taking place during the reign of King Josiah, around 622 to 612 BC. Now we know that King Josiah had done all that he could to try to bring the nation back to God, but they rejected it. They were still filled with too much sin and corruption. Now, a key verse in this book is found in Zephaniah chapter 3, verse 17. We read, "The Lord your God is in your midst, a mighty one who will save. He will rejoice over you with gladness. He will quiet you by his love, and he will exult over you with loud singing." Now, how amazing is that? Even in a book all about God's judgment and justice that's coming all over the world, we're given this beautiful prophecy that reminds us that God is with his people. He is a mighty God who will save. This passage is pointing toward our future hope through Jesus Christ. That one day we will be with our God and he will rejoice with us with gladness, and we will experience his love forever. Now, this is why God brings his justice, to purify us from our unrighteousness so that we can be with him forever. So here's a few key takeaways that I hope that we find when we read the book of Zephaniah. God's justice will not allow evil in the world to persist forever. There is punishment for wrongdoing, but also we must remember that God's justice sweeps over the world like a consuming fire, but it also serves a purpose. To those who will seek God, it transforms us and it takes our sins away through Jesus. Lastly, we're reminded that throughout all of human history, through the good and the bad, God is using it all as a part of a much bigger picture of his eternal kingdom, where he'll bring those who trust in Jesus and will enjoy his presence forever. Keep in mind this bigger picture, and that will help you win the day.